Hello again, it's Carolina Reyes here, and I am back with some more spiritual inspiration for you. And today I want to talk a little bit about creating love notes for yourself. And I want to talk to you about love notes in a couple of different ways. The first way comes from mirror work, and I know I've talked about that before, and I'll have a link below to that video. But I love mirror work because I feel like it's such a powerful exercise in really not only affirming to ourselves, but using our physiology and looking into the mirror and saying I love you. And I feel like it's powerful because one, when was the last time you said I love you to yourself and looked in your own eyes to say it? Believe me, it's a very confronting experience, especially if you're not in the greatest place with yourself and you're trying to build love for yourself. So check that video out if you haven't heard about mirror work. But secondly, I feel like there's a huge spiritual component to mirror work. Not only do I think when we look into the mirror and we say I love you, to ourselves, it's us saying I love you. I also feel that it's God within us looking into our own eyes and Him affirming to us how much He loves us. And that's why I feel it's so powerful. And so when I talk about love notes, I want you to think about, one, maybe you need to say I love you to yourself. But what are some of the other things that you think that God is trying to tell you? Is it with regards to a dream or a relationship or getting in shape or bettering your life in some other way that you feel like He's telling you? And maybe you're just not quite willing to say it out loud or say it to yourself, and you need to. You know, you're destined for greatness. He has a will for you, and that will is perfect happiness. And you need to believe that. And so if there's something that you feel like He is trying to tell you, or if it is love that you need to give yourself, I really urge you to give yourself a love note out loud and look in the mirror and say whatever it is that you think you need to say. And even if you don't believe it, continue to say it, because as we keep saying it, I believe God is working through us to use His power and His strength and spirit to ensure that His love is what builds up within us, so that we do start believing those words and living those words and speaking those words as if they were true. And they are true. It's just a matter of whether or not we actually believe it or not. So that's the first aspect of the love note that I want to talk about. Another exercise that I feel is awesome is physically a love note, or I should say literally a love note. One exercise that I've done in the past has been to really create a letter from the point of view of your younger self. For me, I wrote it as I was my 16-year-old self. And just think about, what would your 16-year-old self or your 10-year-old self, whatever age you want, what would she say about you? And it's a very eye-opening experience, because I realized that I'm really hard on myself. And I don't know at what point in our lives we become so much harder on ourselves, but when we're younger, we tend to be a little bit easier on who we see as like these older people, kind of like our role models. And so what would your 16-year-old self say about you? And I realized that my 16-year-old self she was shy. She was definitely very shy. And if she were to see me and meet me and know that I've traveled and lived in Australia and I work for one of the best brands in social media, and I have the love of my life and I'm engaged, and all these other amazing, awesome things that I've done that I don't ever take the time to sit and reflect on, I mean, I would really think, how cool am I? And I don't think we ever really take the time to reflect on where we've come from and how far we've gone. We've made it here. We've made it to now, despite and as a result of all of the things that we've gone through, good, bad, or indifferent. So I really urge you to just take that exercise and write that love note out to yourself, whether it's a actual love note or if it's looking in the mirror and trying out mirror work. So give it a go and let me know how everything goes, and I will see you soon.